Good evening, everyone. Sir Owen Disney here. I'll throw it all out here, it is 10 o'clock on Tuesday night, and I'm sorry the video took this long to get out. Reason why is because I worked today and came home, had some McDonald's, watched Raw all over again, and now I'm getting this out to you guys. So, this is the video for Tuesday, even though it technically won't be out until sometime early tomorrow morning. I don't know what the video for tomorrow is going to be yet. I actually know for a fact, after I get off work, sounds to me like I might be going to dinner with my mom. She actually leaves for the road again on Thursday morning, so this will be the last chance I have to do just that. So that probably will happen. Now, usually I throw a lot of housekeeping your guys' way, but you know what? Let's talk about Raw. And, it was interesting. Very interesting. They were in Los Angeles, California at the Staples Center. And the guest host is back. And this time it's Betty White. Yeah. Apparently, besides Hot in Cleveland, which I already know about, there's a show that she has premiering at the end of the month called Off Their Rockers. Some sort of an old person prank show. Yeah. So, she's out with the Big Show. Wow, two things I don't like. And she says she's thrilled to be a guest on Raw. And Big Show asks what she's going to do. And she says she's going to kick some ass. Yeah. I don't remember who said it online, but I know this is something I totally agree with. It's a very big shame that Mae Young left us recently, because if not, this would be a great promo with her and Betty White. Maybe over the affections of Mark Henry, potentially, if you want to go that direction, or someone else at this point. It would have been entertaining. This was not. So, Triple H and Stephanie come out, and they have to reiterate the fact that they said that if Daniel Bryan could beat Randy Orton, they would reconsider him to be the face of the WWE. Keyword here being reconsider. As a matter of fact, they're just kind of reconsidering everybody that's in the Elimination Chamber, from Antonio Cesaro to Christian to Sheamus to John Cena himself. Well, Randy Orton comes out, of course. Stephanie tells him he might want to go back to the back and prepare for his match against John Cena later tonight. Orton kind of turns the other cheek and says, I want to apologize for all my actions. He wants to apologize to Hunter and Stephanie. He says he's been childish. Yeah. He's been selfish and rather foolish. He says he needs to bring the Viper for the rest of his reign. Even he has to realize his reign is very short coming. At SummerSlam, he cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, obviously in the same building, the same place, to become officially the face of the company. That's when he was coined the face of the company. He says he wants to be the face in every facet possible, both in and out of the ring. He wants to do the interviews and the Make-A-Wish and everything. Anything becoming of a World Heavyweight Champion. So Daniel Bryan comes out. Stephanie just says she doesn't appreciate both Bryan and Orton coming out and interrupting what they have to say. From now on, if you guys want to talk to us, if any superstar or diva want to talk to us, you have to set an appointment with our chief operating officer. Well, of course, that's what Bryan has to talk about. The director of operations, Kane, had to attack him on SmackDown, and Bryan pretty much wants to cut out the middleman, and he wants to face Kane tonight. Apparently, Kane is on an administrative leave for 1 week, and he's been reprimanded heavily, and Bryan's like, really? That's it? Who's doing your performance review? Triple H and Stephanie? Simply put, you've brought nothing but arrogance and stupidity to this. Orton jumps to their aid like a lapdog and basically berates Bryan for berating Triple H and Stephanie. So Triple H takes it all in stride and says, you know what, tonight, in this very ring, Daniel Bryan, you will face no one. That's right. We think you're a liability, and you're obviously not in the right mindset. So that being said, we're going to give you a very well-deserved night off. Yeah, the crowd didn't like that one iota. Okay, opening remarks. Betty White, there was no reason for it. I know the reason it was done. It was done for comedy later on in the show. The stuff with the New Age Outlaws and the tea. Less said about that, the better. And that was Big Show's only spot in the show. I will say right now, when Triple H and Stephanie did come out, when Big Show was standing there, he was looking at Hunter, and they were kind of looking at each other like Big Show was like, "Oh, I'm going to take your head off." And Hunter was like, "Why don't you even try?" So yeah, that was entertaining. Not really. I like the opening. It's set up pretty well that Randy Orton is just like a scared child trying to run away at this point, trying to save his championship regardless of what it takes. And he has to realize now that he is no longer in the good graces of the Authority and what's best for business. That being said, he's going to do anything he can to get out of this match. And, of course, he has to run the gauntlet with everyone in the Elimination Chamber with him. We had last week on Raw. He had his first match where he lost to Daniel Bryan. The match was phenomenal. He had a match against Christian, which he actually won on SmackDown. Again, phenomenal. The match tonight with John Cena, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And the match I'm really looking forward to, Antonio Cesaro against Randy Orton on SmackDown. And the main event for Raw this coming Monday is going to be Randy Orton against Sheamus. So, that being said, that was our opening segment of the show. And then we get to our actual first match of the evening. 6-man tag team action. Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper of the Wyatt family taking on Goldust and Cody Rhodes, the Brotherhood, as well as Rey Mysterio Jr. We go midway through this match, and I like this. This has a really fast pace to it. Once again, phenomenal action. So we get back from commercial break. Eric Rowan has a neck vice on Goldust. Goldust punches his way out, and he gets dazzled with a huge forearm. Big shoulder block in the midsection, tagging to Harper. He slaps Rowan for good measure, and Rowan charges in with the avalanche in the corner. Whip into the big boot from Luke Harper. 1-2, Cody Rhodes makes the save. Tagging to Bray Wyatt, and he leaps in the air and lands with a seated splash on Goldust. Pushes him off the ropes, gets caught with a back elbow, which is mows over Goldust. Tagging to Rowan, leaping knee drop, 1-2, and a kick out. So a high velocity whip in the corner, and a headbutt, whip in, and Goldust nails the backstop elbow. Once again, the first time that Michael Cole mentions it as a handspring elbow. That's on the handspring elbow. I'm sorry, it's a backstop elbow. Use your skateboarding terminology. You know what I'm talking about. So Rowan cuts off the tag of Goldust, just like happened on SmackDown, and Goldust low bridges Rowan. He goes over the top rope to the floor, tagging to Luke Harper. He basically tagged himself. He smartly knocks Cody off the ring apron and gets caught with a snap power slam by Goldust. Excuse me. Tagging to Ray. Ducks the clothesline. Slides through the legs. Duck his head. Kick to the chest. And Satellite sends him into the ring post. Goes up top. Seated senton. Ducks the clothesline. Satellite into a DDT. Bray Wyatt makes the save. So he goes for a scoop slam. Does Bray. Ray lands on his feet. Drop toe hold. And he lands on the middle rope. And he catches Luke Harper, dropped hold, hits in the middle rope. Bray leaps up, and Harper eats the 619. Ray goes to get ready to drop the dime, and he gets pulled off the ring apron hard by Bray Wyatt. And this allows Cody to nail a double springboard into a flying body press on Bray. Cody is taken down courtesy of Eric Rowan, sending Cody hard into the barricade. And when Rowan gets up, Goldust nails that somersault senton off the ring apron. We have to realize in the ring, the main legal men in the ring are Rey Mysterio and Luke Harper. So Harper pulls him off the ring apron, goes for an over-the-shoulder power slam, gets countered. Harper ends up getting a satellite into the middle rope, and Bray tags him, ends up tagged in. Mysterio goes off the ropes for the 619. Bray catches him, swings with it, and Sister Abigail from Hell by Bray Wyatt. And that's all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. And the Wyatt family win this match. Tremendous match, by the way. So, we get the Shield with a promo. Of course, you have to end with a Shield promo. Makes sense, right? Roman Reigns says actions speak louder than words. We don't speak in riddles, we speak in absolutes. This is Seth Rollins speaking. Dean Ambrose will absolutely eliminate them at the Elimination Chamber. So Ambrose says, no one's got the guts to face me with the United States Championship on the line, when basically they question him not defending the championship. So he says, I'm going to issue out an open challenge to anybody in the ring, and that'll happen later in the night. So Vicky, the Bellas, Natty, they're all there with Betty White, and the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn show up to try to protect Betty White and to get her a cup of tea. Whenever this is headed, yeah, the less said about this, the better. But fear not, just like I mentioned on this very channel last week, we have a matchup between Fandango with the gorgeous Summer Rae taking on Santino Marella with the adorable Emma. And yeah, if you haven't noticed, I really am very, very attracted to the WWE divas on NXT when it comes down to it. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I really enjoy Emma. So this match is really short. Whip in reverse, Santino with a tip up, and nobody home. Fandango with a kidney forearm, and he ends up with a big right hand which drops Santino. 2 headbutts, a big chop, the Miz comes out. He basically complains that he's not on Raw. And Fandango and Santino are. And that's just awesome, given the fact that he's, I don't know, from Hollywood. Thank you, Andy Kaufman. And he also is in Hollywood films. Yes, he's doing another WWE film very soon. So, yeah. That's where he comes out. Disgruntled Miz comes out yet again. This allows for Santino to get locked with a chin lock, and Santino catches it with a Saito suplex out, and he does that split-legged duck under, and the hip toss, goes for the falling headbutt. Fandango gets the knees up. He goes up top for the perfect 10. Santino leaps up to try to knock him off. Yeah, that doesn't work. He gets knocked off for his own trouble. Santino gets nailed with the perfect 10, and that's the 3 count. So yeah, that was it. Don't know where that's going. Once again, it was nice seeing Emma on television. I think we're getting our mixed tag match at, they might do Elimination Chamber. We have enough time to build to it. Sure, do it. Or the night after Elimination Chamber, the first night the WWE Network is online, I think that Emma could make her in-ring debut. I think Emma will be wrestling in WWE before WrestleMania. That is my prediction right now, and I think that's the right thing to do. So speaking of NXT, we get Byron Saxton actually is now an interviewer working for WWE, and that's pretty cool. He's got Sheamus, and Sheamus basically has no problem teaming with Christian, even though that he may have to tear into him with the Elimination Chamber coming up in a couple weeks. It's all about making legacies, and basically it's every man for themselves. So we get this next match, and it is tag team action. Sheamus and Christian taking on the Real Americans, Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger with Subculture in their corner. This match was awesome, by the way. I very much enjoyed this, and I like the finish of this too. But let's talk about it, shall we? So, basically, whip in, reverse, and a kick to the chest, comes off the ropes. Cesaro gets caught with the Irish Curse backbreaker, tagging to Christian. Christian comes in, whip in, reverse, and back kick to the midsection, the 180 sunset flip on Cesaro, 1-2, and a kick out. And of course, the uppercut and slingshot into the right hand, and he goes to the middle turnbuckle, nails the middle rope, spinning back elbow, ducks the clothesline of Cesaro, and he goes for the kill switch, reverse, backdrop, lands on his feet, does Christian, comes off the ropes, gets tossed up in the air, very European uppercut with the Swiss Death, 1-2, and a kick out, deeper cover, 1-2, and a kick out. Tag into Jack Swagger, and he does a slingshot to the bottom rope, like a catapult, basically sending him throat first to the bottom rope. Makes a cover, 1-2, Christian kicks out. So he goes for the gator roll, which is very interesting. Interesting they don't call it that, into the front face lock. Front face lock, punch out. He drags him to the corner, and of course we have, goes for the Swagger Bomb, tags Cesaro, Swagger Bomb, leapfrog, double stomp, we the people, of course, 1-2, and Christian again kicks out. So Christian nails Swagger, catches him sleeping on the ring apron, big time spine buster, or in this case, it was kind of a double leg, basically. It was a spine buster or a double leg, depending on how you're looking at it. It was more of a low impact spine buster, or a double leg. So he double legs him, goes for the giant swing. Fans go crazy for it. He gets 10 revolutions. Christian ends up so discombobulated, he goes to the floor. He gets back in at the 10 count. Cesaro makes a cover when he gets back in, 1-2, and a kick out. Tag in, and Swagger comes in. Cesaro with the slingshot into the high impact takedown, 1-2, and a kick out. Tag back into Cesaro. He tosses him up in the air. Jack tosses Cesaro up in the air, and he finds nothing but the buckle. Tag into Swagger. Hot tag to Sheamus. 2 double axe handles. And then there's the high knee. And then the Finley roll. 1-2, and a kick out. The clubbing blows. The over-the-shoulder power slam. And Cesaro breaks it with a charging Swiss uppercut in the corner. And Cesaro gets tossed over the top rope. Clubbing blows on Cesaro. Stopped by Swagger, picking the leg into the Patriot Lock. Christian with a flying body press on Swagger. Seems like they were waiting a bit to get that to go over right. And Christian nails Cesaro off the ring apron with a swinging DDT to the floor. Looked really awesome, by the way. This allowed for Swagger to get bum rushed with the Brogue Kick, and that's all she wrote. Big win for Sheamus and Christian. So tonight, John Cena will close his feud with Randy Orton when he defeats him in the center of the ring. Okay. Well, the Wyatt family, to this out of order, the Wyatt family cut a promo before the Shields promo, and the reason I didn't have it written down, but I'll explain what it says. Bray says, "People have played this game with me before Shield, and they have all failed. You will be no different. You are nothing more than toy soldiers trying to play in a war that is beyond you. So you will fail, and then it will be time for my next game to begin. Follow the Buzzards." So yeah, entertaining as always. So Alberto Del Rio is in action next against Dolph Ziggler, and this is a quick pace actually. So a whip in, and Ziggler puts on the brakes, ducks the clothesline, and nails a huge drop kick. He nails the repeated elbows, then the heart stopper, 1 count only. He goes for the zigzag, he gets swatted off, and Swagger, well, long day, I read the wrong list here. Del Rio goes for a tilt-a-whirl, and Dolph lands on his feet. Dolph with the name dropper, 1-2, and a kick out. And Dolph's about ready to put Del Rio away. He nails the divorce court and takes his head off with the GSK. And that's all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. Del Rio wins this match. After the match is over, he goes to leave the ring, gets back in the ring, and he goes into the cross arm breaker. So here comes Batista, looking like Tyson Tomko. Like, really, seriously, just look at them two together. It's almost uncanny with his odd-colored one knee pad red, one knee pad black. Yeah. So his crappy spear on Del Rio, and basically they give chase. He tosses him into the steps, and the boot into the midsection, tosses him hard in the barricade. He power bombs Del Rio at the announce table. Still a very lukewarm reaction from the Los Angeles crowd. So, yeah. Once again, that thing about WWE trying to get Batista cheered by sending him after Del Rio, yeah, not working. So, Del Rio needs to win this match at Elimination Chamber. Guaranteed he doesn't. I don't even know if he's going to get much of a shine in this match. I know you're a heel, can't really get shine. I don't know how much heat he's going to get in this match when it comes down to it, because he's probably just going to get, like, dissected by Batista. Not the right thing to do still, but whatever. So, Batista's walking in the back, Triple H walks into him, basically says that he misses him, and he says, well, it's weird how things have changed. Like, you can't just, he's like, he deserved it. I was like, Dave, you may have deserved it, but you didn't have to do that. It was like, how about we make a match for Elimination Chamber? So it's officially announced, Alberto Del Rio and Batista at Elimination Chamber. Yeah, that gives me a reason to buy the pay-per-view. So, we get our Hall of Fame announcement, and I'm sure you're curious of what I'm thinking about this. We've had the Ultimate Warrior. We have Jake the Snake Roberts. You have two arguable legends in 1980s WWF. Who's the third person to come in? Someone from the Attitude Era. Okay. How about, you know, when they want to bring a diva in. How about, I don't know, Medusa? I'm sure that Vince still has a little case of butthurt, given the fact that Medusa kind of went on Nitro and took the WWF Women's Championship and dropped it in the trash can. Yeah, I'm sure Vince still holds a grudge. That's why he killed WCW. That's why he bought WCW after he killed WCW. And he bought ECW too. But yeah, because Vince holds grudges, just like Sir Owen Disney does. But for a completely different reason. Sometimes. Now, the thing about it is Medusa makes sense, right? Okay. We obviously already had Sunny in. You'd think it'd be Sable, given the fact that Brock Lesnar works for the company. No. They go a completely different direction. The next inductee in the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame, Amy Dumas. Yeah, Lita. It's really weird. I don't know what she did Hall of Fame worthy. I mean, like I said, Medusa's the right answer. I mean, I like Lita. Full disclosure, ECW, Heatwave 1999, Dayton, Ohio at the Hara Arena. You know, the thing that kind of looks like a bowling alley from the outside? Basically, that was the first time I ever saw Lita, when she was Miss Congeniality, Angelica, when she was the valet of Dastardly Danny Doring and the Angry Amish Roadkill. So, they did the gimmick where she got in the ring and Doring did a proposal and it didn't have a ring. He had a condom. So yeah, that was really awkward, but I thought she was gorgeous and I'm just like amazed by her, how attractive she was. Then I found out she actually could work, and then she did this storyline. She came in the WWE and she was working with S.A. Rios. And, of course, all the stuff she did with the Hardys and Team Extreme, and then the matches she did with Trish. I mean, when it comes down to it, she and Trish actually main evented a Raw. You would never, I don't think even, there's nobody on the current WWE roster of divas, no offense to any of them, that could believably main event a Raw at this juncture in their careers. That's a shame, but that's just how it is. Trish and Lita did it, and they even got ratings for it, so yeah. I can see that, the reason why. But I still think there's so many more deserving people that could be going into the Hall of Fame. Like, if you wanted to put a diva in, I know they were trying to get Stacy Keibler, and it makes total sense. Not really makes total sense why she'd be getting in there. She has an even less Hall of Fame career than Lita does. But at least Lita was a champion. I mean, Stacy basically was a valet that did a bunch of stuff in WCW. You know, Miss Hancock. The only reason they did that is because they wanted the rub of her celebrity. The fact that she used to date George Clooney, and then, yeah, there's always that. But, I mean, they went with this direction, went with Lita. I mean, I could see people that better deserve it, but, yeah. I'm still waiting for Demolition. Obviously, they need to be the tag team inducted. Like I said, you have Mr. T is probably going to be the celebrity this year. So we're looking at Warrior, we're looking at Jake, we're looking at Mr. T, Demolition, Paul Bearer, and Lita. That's your class of 2014. Not sure about that. We still need a legend. Another legend to go into the Hall of Fame this year. I don't know who that's going to be at this juncture. Could be a lot of people. Randy Savage? No. No, he's going to be a headliner when he finally goes in. Yeah. So yeah, who knows? Who knows what WWE has up their sleeve at this point? I'm pretty sure that's the class, and just fill in the blanks on the rest of them. That being said, let's go to our next match. It is Jimmy and Jey Uso against the Nexus Relocation Program, Curtis Axel and Ryback. I hate the name Rybaxel. I don't use it, so because obviously I don't have an itching problem, so I can't use Rybaxel. So there's a thing where I like the Usos. I really do. I understand that the Outlaws are keeping the titles warm for them because they're definitely going to be the transitional champions to the Usos winning the titles, and I have no issues with this. There's a problem with it, though. Their matches, they're good, but, I mean, I don't really have much to get out of them. I can't really say that. I haven't really got the, I'm not really as into them as I probably should be as a fan right now. That's not good, I'm guessing. Well, let's talk, and their matches against Axel and Ryback are always the same, as much as I hate to say it, except for the SSD tag, which I'll talk about in a minute. So, Jay and Curtis Axel started off, well, they started off when I get into my commentary in the match, and the snap jabs and a crotch chop to the Outlaws are at ringside. Of course, Billy's holding his stomach, because of course he drank the tainted tea. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Tagging to Jimmy, and he charges in with a forearm in the corner, whip in reverse, Axel plants him with a big drop kick. Shoulder in the corner, tagging to Ryback. He comes in, two big shoulders, high velocity whip. Tagging to Axel, boot in the midsection, whip in reverse, ducks his head down low, and Axel knees him right in the forehead. He drops the forearm and tags in Ryback, puts him on the buckle, climbs up, and he gets elbowed off. Whisper in the wind and tag into Axel. Tag into Jey Uso, comes in, goes up top with a clothesline off the top rope, leaping clothesline, and a savate kick to the ribs. And he kicks the leg out from under Axel, of course. His father, my favorite wrestler of all time. The late, great Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig used to do that sell all the time, and now Curtis Axel's using it, so I don't have an issue with that. Ryback makes a save before the 3 counts completed. He charges in, and he goes shoulder first in the ring post. Really awkward. It looked like he bent his arm back slightly. And, of course, he sold immediately when he hit the floor. I'm sure he tweaked his arm a bit. Axel gets nailed with a savate kick, and a really awesome spot. The Samoan suicide dive. When he leaps over the top to nail Ryback, he tags his partner. Jimmy goes to the top rope after the tag, nails the Samoan splash, 1, 2, 3. Outlaws go to hit the ring, and Billy grabs his ass and runs to the back. Yeah. Comedy, folks. That's what Vince McMahon finds funny. So should you. I hate stuff like this. Comedy has its place in wrestling, but dear God, no. Bodily functions, yeah, that stuff went out in the Attitude Era. It wasn't even good then. It's never good. So, Dean Ambrose's open challenge with the United States Championship on the line ends up being the returning World's Strongest Man, Mark Henry. And you had to think, with all the vignettes that were shown, it's like, Mark Henry coming up tonight. You don't really have many matches left to go. Obviously, we're going to get a Divas match, and we did. We're obviously going to get Orton and Cena as the main event. So, who else would be facing Ambrose but Mark Henry? And the first thing that pops in my mind is this. Why not have Mark Henry take the U.S. title off Ambrose, then do a title unification match where Big E Langston and Mark Henry have to go at it, like teacher and student, they go at it, and of course you have a huge rub when Big E Langston wins and unifies the championships. That is a good idea. But we go midway through the match, and of course Mark Henry is selling the arm injury. He withstood with the Kimura from Brock Lesnar, and he's still wearing the protection on his arm. I think it's a legitimate injury too. It's kayfabe and legitimate injury, I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive on that. Ambrose with a flying armbar, and he locks in a modified Fujiwara armbar, and once he breaks at a headbutt, goes up top, he gets rocket launched off the top rope, clothesline, over the shoulder power slam, and he charges in. Ambrose gets the boot up, goes for Justice to Serve, which is the headlock driver, the bulldog driver, and it gets countered, World's Strongest Slam, and before the 3 count is completed, Seth Rollins comes in, makes the save, calling for the DQ. Mark Henry clears the ring of the Shield until basically he goes to the floor, try to get some more, and he gets speared out of his boots by Roman Reigns to a huge pop from the crowd. So, oh God, this was awesome. Wide interruption. Bray, Rowan, and Harper are on the Tron. We're here. Music starts. They're at the bottom of the ramp. Shield's in the crowd. So the Shield jump the rail, and they walk to the ring. They get on the ring apron. The Wyatts walk on, get to the ring apron. We have a freaking Mexican standoff on Raw. And what happens? Roman Reigns enters the ring, preparing to fight. Bray Wyatt enters the ring, and he exits, and he has Harper and Rowan get off the ring apron. He gets back into the ring halfway and gets out of the ring and leaves. Basically, Bray is saying, make your move. And that is our segment. Dear God, that was awesome. Having the 2 biggest factions in WWE standing off like that is just phenomenal booking. And it makes you really, really want to see this match at Elimination Chamber. If anything, I want to see this match at Elimination Chamber. And I want to see the actual Elimination Chamber itself. I have no interest in Batista and Del Rio. But, I mean, guys, surprise me, please. I'd appreciate it. And since Oksana doesn't know how to drop a knee, and, hey, okay, accidents do happen, alright? Naomi's push against AJ is pretty much derailed at this point. So, yeah. Why not push Cameron instead? I got a lot of reasons why you don't push Cameron instead. Cameron's not good in the ring. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We had a really nice, of course, since it's Black History Month, we had a nice promo, just like last week with the Big Head and Lad. This week was about Brobo Brazil, and that was really awesome. So it's really cool to see that. If you haven't checked out any of Bobo Brazil's stuff from Detroit, like stuff with the original Sheik, I mean, just check that stuff out. It's really great. And WWE doesn't own much of it, so I think that you can still catch it on YouTube, and if not, just like search for it on YouTube. It's worth it. So, yeah, this match was a train wreck. It's AJ Lee, Oksana, and Alicia Fox against Cameron and the Bella Twins. Yeah, this was bad. So Brie goes for Arabella, which is basically springing off the back of Nikki into a splash in the corner. She slips, and she blames her shoes on Twitter about it. So yeah, she basically just fell into Oksana. The middle rope, Brie mode missile drop kick, 1-2 and a kick out. Oksana ends up catching her with a spine buster, 1-2 and a kick out. Drops the elbow, tagging Alicia Fox, like I really needed that to happen. Brings her back in the ring the hard way, 1-2, and Brie kicks out. So whip in and a tilt-a-whirl into a nice roll-up, somewhat. And Fox with a chin lock with the knees in the upper back. That was interesting. So elbows Nikki off the apron for good measure. Brie drop kick and tagging to Cameron. Cameron with a smart move to knock AJ off the apron, and she's done for the rest of the match. She just didn't do anything else the rest of the match. So she hits a Luthez press. My God. And drops Alicia Fox in the middle rope. Clothesline, satellite head scissor, front drop kick, somewhat 1-2 and a kick out. Whip in, catches the back elbow, tag in to Oksana, boot in and whip in, charges into boot up, and of course the girl by DDT. Yeah. If she's the next challenger, they really need to bring somebody up from NXT now, because my God, Cameron does not need to be challenging for a championship. She looks good, but once again, she doesn't have basics down. She's not good in the ring at all. I mean, her and Eva Marie are about, as much as weird it is to say, I can't say they're the same, but they're on the same curve when it comes to not learning actual wrestling. So yeah. So of course we get another Alexander Rusev promo. Lana, of course, speaking for him, and it's gonna be nice to see Rusev in WWE. He had an interesting spot in the Royal Rumble. They're doing weekly promos for him. He will be debuting soon. It kind of reminds me a lot of the old WWF Superstars promos. Like, he is coming next week, and he is coming in 2 weeks. He is coming tonight. He was here. And then Rusev comes out, and that'd be awesome. But yeah, who knows what'll happen with that. A lot of people in NXT would have brought up before Rusev, but I guess he fits the WWE mold. So yeah, they need another big hulking monster heel, so the Bulgarian Brute is just what the doctor ordered. So Kane comes out and he tries to explain himself. Yeah, that elimination for a week just really lasted a long time, didn't it? Daniel Bryan comes out, Bryan attacks, and Kane ends up taking him down with a choke thrust. Goes for the goozle, goes for the choke slam again. He goes to lift Bryan up in the air. He lands on his feet. He low bridges Kane. He goes over the top rope to the floor. He nails the tope, kicks away, and Kane is against the barricade. Bryan with a fire-breathing knee sends Kane over the rail and into the crowd. Fans go crazy, chanting yes, and Bryan ends up being the huge pop that he normally gets. So, oh boy. Main event time. John Cena and Randy Orton, non-title. Okay. So, Orton gets slammed. He ducks the clothesline. Cena comes off the ropes with a shoulder block. Cena goes for the second shoulder block. Orton ducks out of the way. Cena ends up going all the way to the floor. So Orton suplexes him back in. 1-2, Cena kicks out. So he locks on the chin lock. Gee, that's a shock surprise. And he goes for the AA. Orton slithers his way out. Yeah, I know. And a boot in the midsection and a very vicious DDT dropped Cena right on top of his head. 1-2 and a kick out. So he goes with his version of the Garden Stomp. Cena rolls him up 1-2 and a kick out. So he ducks the clothesline, shoulder block, proto bomb, goes for the 5-knuckle shuffle, picks him up for the AA, countered into the 3.0 backbreaker, 1-2 and a kick out. So he goes for the snake bite DDT, gets countered and backdropped over the top rope to the floor. So he ducks the clothesline. Orton with a crossbody. He gets caught. Cena muscles him up, goes for the AA, and gets countered, pushes him into the ropes. Samoa Joe style snap power slam 1-2, and Cena kicks out. So Orton climbs up top. It's countered, knocked off, and Cena gets crushed on the top turnbuckle. Fans are chanting, same old, same old, same old. Well, Orton gives him some. And he hits the snakebite DDT from the top. The second he lands it, which looks awesome by the way, he leaps up and like a giddy child says, I've never done that before. Same old what? So yeah, I don't like Randy Orton, but I do like when the crowd chant boring at him and they try to really infuriate Orton. You can really tell sometimes Orton's legitimately pissed at some of this stuff, honestly. And just like Del Rio got pissed off at JBL a couple weeks ago on Raw for like drinking in the cheers during Del Rio's match. So it's kind of the same thing, honestly. But Orton obviously knows when you're a vet. This is a veteran move from Randy Orton. When the crowd chants boring, what do? You grab a headlock, you grab a chin lock. And Orton knows exactly how to turn a crowd. And that's a great maneuver there from Randy Orton. I like that. So he starts pounding him out like a moron, like he always does. And he gets ankle picked, STF, and Orton, of course, has the ginormous reach. And, of course, that grabs the bottom rope. That calls for the break. Orton nails in a big drop kick. He points to the sign. And he sets up for the punt. And he goes for the punt kick. And he misses. Cena goes for the AA. Gets countered. RKO. 1, 2, and that 3. Cena kicks out. So they lost the crowd a lot of ways through this match. But they're trying to get him back into the finish. So Cena catches him with the AA. 1, 2, and again Orton kicks out. So he puts him on the turnbuckle. He climbs up, he's going for the AA off the top. Orton elbows his way out and charges in. Cena gets the boot up and nails the rocker dropper. When Orton gets up to his feet, AA 1, 2, 3. And again, Randy Orton loses to another person in the Elimination Chamber. And if I never see another Randy Orton and John Cena matchup in 2014, I will be a happy guy. I like these matches, but they seem to all be the same. There's a couple spots done in differently, obviously. Like using the snakebite DDT from the corner at the top rope instead of the middle rope. I don't have an issue with that. I think that's awesome. And I like, they started the match with chain. Actually, they just chained for a while and everything. And God, I love John Cena. I do. I really enjoy his work in the ring. But dear God, John learned how to call spots. Dear Lord. Okay. There's a thing about having high-def cameras on and for people to be able to hear you make your next move. You shouldn't be able to hear. If you know what you're listening for, it's obvious. That's how it works. If you've been in the ring before, or you've been a manager before, you know when something's coming. As a matter of fact, I can just sit back, watch Raw, and just pretty much call spots left and right. I did it at WrestleMania. Ask Will, he'll tell you. And I'll probably do it again this year, because everything's pretty obvious, given the fact that most of the stuff that I see coming is pretty much the same stuff I normally see. I've called pretty much the same match a billion times. But here's the thing. When you know what you're looking for, and you get something different, that's awesome. But when Cena is the loudest person I've ever heard of calling spots, someone who's been in the wrestling business or in the wrestling business should be able to hear Cena calling spots. Because it's something you just can't turn off. It's like, I don't want to hear that, but he's so loud. Someone who has no idea what even calling spots means should not be able to hear it either. Everyone can hear. Those high-def cameras have high-definition sound coming out of them. And when Cena calls spots, it is extremely, extremely obvious. So, yeah. I like John Cena, but God, learn how to walk and talk with a little bit of less bass to your voice, John, to be totally honest. Other than that, no issues. So of course, I said on this channel that Bryan beat Orton, because I talked about that on Raw. And then you have Orton beat Christian on SmackDown. That's believable. You have Cena beat Orton, and I think that Cesaro is going to beat Orton on SmackDown. Which it's actually taping right now as we speak in LA. Well, it's in California, I think. I don't remember exactly where it is. I don't know if it's still in Staples Center or not. I'll find out on later this weekend when I actually watch SmackDown. But, yeah. So, I think Sheamus will lose. I think Sheamus and Christian lose. I think everybody else beats Orton. So, there's a tinge idea that Orton's not going to come out of the chamber without with the championship still intact. We'll go with that. So yeah, that was an interesting show. High spots for the show. If you see the WWE YouTube page and you want to check out the finish to the Wyatt family against the Brotherhood and Rey Mysterio, where Mysterio gets caught with a swinging Sister Abigail, yeah, check that out. That was awesome. The match was pretty good for what it was, too. Sheamus and Christian against the Real Americans, I recommend that for sure. I would say that you can pretty much skip most of everything else. If you like Cena and Orton matches, it's something you've seen before. If you want to see the snakebite DDT done in a different manner, you can check that out too. And a lot of really awesome chain between Cena and Orton in the beginning of the match too. So yeah, we're still on the road to Elimination Chamber, and it's just kind of bumpy right now. Don't really know what the card's going to be. If I had to guess, like I say, I'm thinking it's going to be, as much as I hate to say it, it's probably going to be Cameron against AJ. I don't think they should even do that at this point. It looks like Cameron might end up getting the spot, unless they just give it to Nikki Bella, which is a possibility too. AJ defending the Divas Championship, which she will keep. And, because obviously, what I believe is a childhood dream will finally come true. At WrestleMania 30, AJ Lee will put the Divas Championship on the line against Lita. And I think after the match is over, we will get rid of the butterfly belt once and for all and bring back the women's championship, which is what needs to happen. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking will happen. I'd say we've got the Outlaws against the Usos. I think the Usos are going to beat the Outlaws in a non-title match somewhere down the line, like the next couple weeks, and that'll lead to their match at Elimination Chamber. I think what the smart thing to do is have the Usos win them in WrestleMania in some sort of like a 4-6 team elimination tag match with like 3MB and obviously unless you break up the Real Americans by then, you can still put them in there. Los Matadores, which is doing absolutely jack right now. And, even if they want to throw something different our way, why don't you bring up Victor and Connor, the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Ascension, let them go into there as well. Get a nice little rub for NXT. I think NXT needs to have a presence at WrestleMania this year, because obviously, with the network coming down the line, with fans being able to watch NXT on a regular basis, they have no excuses now. That's for you, Will. No excuses. Watch NXT. So, once you are able to watch something on a regular basis, you get used to the characters. So why not? Why not have NXT Championships defended at WrestleMania? Even if it's the pre-show, just have the NXT Championships defended at WrestleMania. And, I think it's time to bring in another NXT Championship. So, that's a good idea. Like, you remember the FCW 10 Championship that Seth Rollins had? Yeah, bring something like that back. We need a television championship for NXT, since now we have a champion. It's funny because in my WWE 2K14, I actually took Zack Ryder's Internet title and I made it the NXT and Internet Championship and gave it to Tyler Breeze and let him defend it. So yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, NXT needs another championship, especially if they're gonna have the same core go after the championship. And I'm pretty sure Adrian Neville is walking out of Arrival as your new NXT champion. So that's a little NXT talk at the end of a Raw recap. You don't get that every day. In the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. And if you'd like to like our Facebook fan page, it's Sir Owen Disney Pop. If you want to just be my friend on Facebook, I'll accept. It's Owen Disney. And if you'd like to tweet me, you can follow me on Twitter. It's at Sir Owen Disney. Last but certainly not least, if you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions, stuff you want to see on Pop, segments you want to see about wrestling, you want me to talk other promotions, give me access to this footage, and I will gladly call matches because I live to do it. And you can do so by sending me an email, sirowendisney@gmail.com. Wrestling fans, I will join you yet again later this week for Impact and NXT and SmackDown as we're on the road to Lockdown and the Elimination Chamber. And I found out that Sacrifice is coming back, TNA pay-per-view in April, so Universal's getting another TNA pay-per-view. I'd really like to have a No Surrender in September so I can see TNA pay-per-view live, finally. So that being said, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.